Alright guys, so what I'm going to show you right here is a really cool trick to add nice texture to your dub chords and also get them to have a kind of polyrhythmic modulation where, say you've got your offbeat hi-hat like we've got in this rhythm, typical techno rhythm, right? To kind of get the dub chords to bounce around in a polyrhythmic way around those hi-hats and just create a driving forward momentum for your tune. By the way guys, I'm going to upload this live set onto my Patreon when it's done, and I'll link that right here and down in the comments. So we've got a basic dub chord here. We've got minor triad chords. Because we've got a chord device on here, right? This is the sequence. Got a high velocity note, which is opening up the filter, and the rest of the notes are like a low velocity, and they're darker. So that's our little sequence going, okay? We've got a kick and some bass, alright? And the offbeat hi-hat. So we've got a dub chord, it's getting a nice bit of modulation with the filters, and we've got a delay, and we're going into a reverb here, okay? Some side chaining. But what I'm gonna do now is grab a hybrid reverb. Let's drop it on here. And what I want to say to begin with is the dub chord is very quiet. I've turned it right down, right? And then after the hybrid reverb, I've got a gain like turning it right up. The reason I'm doing that is because if we go to this vintage section here, we get a nice bit of noise coming through, and if you work with your gain staging in this way, going very quietly into it and then boosting it on the way out, it really emphasizes that noise, and you get a much dirtier sound. Like a huge part of dub is dirty reverbs and delays, and almost the more broken the sound is, the better, which I will now demonstrate with the hybrid reverb. So when I first got the hybrid reverb, I was moving up from live 10 to live 12, and I was kind of super excited to try this reverb, and then it was cool. I was happy to have a convolution reverb I could just grab and throw on really quickly, and that's about as far as I went with it. And I kind of overlooked the algorhythmic section. Well, now if we take a closer look, right, I'm going to flip it so it's just the algorithm, okay? No convolution reverb, and I'm going to change it to the tides setting, okay? Now this setting, I'm not sure exactly what it does, but it adds a kind of a pumping modulation to the reverb sound. So coupled with the vintage noise, right, you can set like a pumping modulation which will work polyrhythmically with your techno drums, all right? So what I'm going to do is just, okay, you'll be able to hear this already. It's modulating every one bar, right? You can hear it move like a white bit crush noise moving around the stereo field. Let's change the timing. Have more rapid. Try super fast. Let's turn the mix right up. Make it a small size. It's almost like a dirty spring reverb now. So up here you have the wave modulation shape. So if you want a square, 100%, and I think a sine wave's at 50%. Could be wrong. You have your phase, so you can have it really panning around. I'm going to leave it at 90 for now. You've got your damping. I'm going to turn that down. I think your tide is your level of modulation. Yeah. So down there it's just a basic reverb, and then turned right up, you get this more modulation. So I'm going to leave it up there. I'm going to turn the decay right down, because I've got this hall reverb it's going into. So that's really, I'm using the hybrid reverb as a primer, and then going into the large hall reverb as like a big reverb. You could also have the large hall like on a return track and send some other elements into it, so what they will get glued to your dub chords in a way that could be really cool. But I'm not going to go into that in this video. So let's play with the rate here. The key is I want polyrhythm. So right now we have a 4/4 rhythm, so I'm going to set the modulation to 1 bar in triplets, or let's try 4th note dotted. Okay, so now it's nice. It's moving around. Really nice. It's adding a ton of character to the dub chord. Let's try turning the dry wet down a bit. Round about there is sitting pretty nicely for me. So that's just going to constantly modulate and just drive your rhythm forward in a very subtle way. Also change the character and sound of your dub chords, have a more original sounding dub chord. And you could use this on any element, like I'm excited to try it on some other techno percussion. So yeah, like I said, you could have the pull reverb like on a return track, right? So instead of having it on here, we put it on a return, and we send our dub chord to that return. Okay. And then what you could do is get like a field recording, okay? So I'm going to go into Sounds of a Forgotten World, which is a sample pack I put out last year. It's full of natural field recordings from up in the mountains around here in Southeast Asia, and other dub techno sounds, dub chords. I think you'll find some really useful stuff in there. I'll link it right here and down in the comments. So let's get a field recording, and I'm going to go for the Old Laotian Dam. Okay, so what I'm going to do is drop this on an audio track, and let's just play it. Loop effective. And what I'm going to do is cut out some of the low end. Just low pass it a bit. And send it to that reverb. We could also emphasize the EQ to be like, I know these dub chords are in the key of F, so what I'm going to do is find the F and just boost that, and then turn it down. Just have it subtly going into that shared reverb with the dub chords. We could also get the copy the sidechain over from the dub chords and drop it on here on the reverb. That's a really cool way to glue your dub chords with like field recordings and stuff. So yeah, that's the basic technique, guys. I'm going to go and upload this set onto my Patreon right now. There's also more exclusive content on there, many more Ableton live sets, monthly track breakdowns, and so much more. I'd love to see you there. I'll link that right here and down in the comments. Cheers, guys.